Bonsoir les amis de Ether Radio, je suis Alex Moukala et peut-être je dois parler en anglais parce qu'on est on Twitch. So there may be some people confused already. Why is he speaking in French? So let's speak English. Hi, nice to be here with you guys. I have this message that I was asked to record for this live stream. Sadly, I cannot be there with you guys today, but I'll be with you for a few moments, replying a few questions that the staff at Ether Radio wrote for me. So the first one is, at the very beginning of the community choir project, have all the guests been booked already, or did you get some surprise after announcing the project on social media? How did you manage to orchestrate with all these people? So this question refers to the Close in the Distance collaborative project that me and many friends did together. So the track, it's an interesting story. The track originally started like this. Denmo, Max Strong Huge, Husky by the Geek, and I are good friends. And before Ant Walker came out, we did the beautiful collaboration of writing an anime opening style song for Final Fantasy XIV, using melodies from the game, and Denmo wrote lyrics for it, and then Denmo made a video of like an anime opening shot entirely in Final Fantasy XIV. And then we published it before the game was out. The community loved it, and everybody asked for more. So as we went through and Walker, Demo was the first one to finish it, and then he messaged me and Husky telling us, guys, I don't know if you finished the game yet, but there's a track that we definitely need to make a cover about or something about once you're all through with it. And he meant Close in the Distance. Husky and I finished the game, and the first thing Husky does is he starts working on a rock cover of Close in the Distance. I thought it was great. I freaking loved it. And then I thought, hey, it would be amazing if, I don't know, I sang the vocals on it or something, because it's a very vocal song. So this was in December of last year. I start writing vocals for Husky's rock version. And I started writing them with many different layers on them. So it wasn't just a single voice, but it was my voice plus many harmonic voices. And I thought that sounded pretty cool. The idea was to give those vocal parts to an actual singer and have that singer sing them. So I would have basically composed the vocal layers and the vocal arrangement, but then somebody else would have sang it, because I'm not a great vocalist myself. But then I thought, because this track is so meaningful and it plays at the end of the game, and when it plays, you hear all the voices of the people you met throughout the game, like the whispers and the memories, etc. I thought it would be pretty amazing if I could use some of my connections in the gaming industry, etc., and actually have different people sing the vocals. So I thought of Susan Calloway. Susan and I have been talking for a long time about how amazing it would be to do a collaboration together, and I always told her, yes, absolutely, we have to do it when the right time comes. We should do it. Amanda Aiken also, she and I, we talked in the past because she saw my videos, she really enjoyed them, and she's like, we need to collaborate. I was like, yes, when the right project comes, we have to. And I have many friends like that where they're freaking amazing. Family Jules, Lolia, Jeannick Nicole, there's Adriana Figueroa. Like there's so many people, all the people on this project that they're friends of mine or people that I know and that I wanted to collaborate with for a long time. So basically, I sent DMs to all of my friends that I thought were great singers and that had a connection to this game somehow, and I asked them if they want to be part of the project. And that was very ambitious. I had no idea how much work that was going to be in the future, but I thought it would be so amazing to create something so meaningful and touching for the community and make it with all these people that have an importance in the community and who are also very great singers. And so most of them said yes. Others didn't have time, sadly. But we got a freaking full party of like 12, I think it was 12 people total. And then they all, in time, sent me their vocal takes. I sent them my arrangement, and I told them, record the main vocal take, and then if you want, record the harmonies or record something original. So now ad-lib something you want to add yourself. So they just added their own stuff, and they sent me the recordings. And each person, whenever I received a recording from them, I would lose my mind because they were all so freaking good. Like there's things that Amanda did on her recordings that I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I couldn't even dare to dream of something like this happening, but it did. And it showed me how professional they are, how amazing they are as singers. And the hard thing was, now that I have so many vocal tracks from everybody and they're all amazing from start to end, I have to find a way to merge them into an arrangement where we basically pass the torch on to each other. Like, this is the part where Susan sings, this is the part where I sing, this is the part where Nick sings, and then there's Amanda, and then there's Adriana, and then there's Family Jewels and stuff. Like, I had to give attention to all the singers and spread it around. So I spent a considerable amount of time like doing several mixes, etc. So this took much longer than I expected. People were waiting for a close distance collaboration, and I teased on my Twitter that there's gonna be like something awesome coming out. And I even messaged Soken himself and told him, we're working on something special. Please look forward to it. Like Square Enix does. Like, please look forward to it. I did that. And then months passed because it took a long time to get the vocals from the different singers. And then it took a long time for me to mix them in a way that makes sense and it's not chaotic. And then while I was working on this, I was working on so many other things. So that's why I also took some time. And one day, Soken posted on Twitter an article, I think, that told some stories about some of the, the choices they had to make while working on Nandwalker. And there was a part of the article that talked about Closing the Distance and how, the lyrics were written by, I think, Koji Fox and Natsuko Ishikawa together or something like that. And originally, I think, I'm not confirming this, but if you can find the article. But originally they meant for that song to be sang by different people. That's what I read in the article. And I was like, holy shit, that's exactly what I've been doing here with Husky and Denmo. We've been orchestrating this in a way that several people sing the song. So when I read that article, I was like, damn. And that article went quite viral. People were posting about it. And I was like, wow, it's impressive that the idea that I had of having several people on this song is exactly the idea that this song originally started from, but then they didn't do it. They ended up having Jason Charles Miller, who's a friend of mine, freaking amazing singer. But, in seeing that, I thought, wow, okay, I want to take this up to an 11 and ask the community itself to send me voices of themselves singing. So already this was an impossible project because even managing 10, 11, 12 singers was super hard. But then I thought, I want to do this for the community. I want to do this for Soken. And I want to really take his vision and amplify it to the max. Because many times when you work as a composer for a game, you may have desires, ways of thinking, like ideas that you want to implement on a track you're working on. But sometimes you don't have the budget for it, you don't have the time for it. So you have to just, do the track however is possible. And us content creators tend to have a bit more time and a bit more crazy. There's no game directors giving us a specific direction, so we can do whatever we want. And I was like, okay, I'll give Soken what he originally wanted with this track. So I asked the community to sing with us and to sing the choir. I was being a bit disambiguous in the post that I made because I didn't want Soken to understand that we were doing Closing the Distance. But yeah, I put that instruction video out, and I expected 100 people to send me their singing takes. And if it was just 100, it would have been amazing. Them singing the final chorus of the song. 100 people, that's it. I can do it. It's fine. I put out the instructions, and then I received, over the span of 5 days, I think I received like 1,200 emails. I've expected 100 emails. I expected 1,200. So it was even a problem to download every single submission from the people, to convert it to audio and to put it inside my program. And basically what ended up happening is I separated all the different takes. I took the very excellent ones, then there were the good ones, and then there were the ones that were sang with a lot of enthusiasm but maybe were not in key or something. And I split them like that, and then I basically made a choir with these 3 categories and mixed them in a way that made it sound good. But every single one of the vocal takes was used. And in the end, we got the result of like the community singing the choir. I had a bit of help from a musician called A Raven, who helped mix the vocals. He's a musician, he's a singer himself, by the way. And, with him mixing the vocals, me mixing the whole track together and managing everything basically. And then Denmo made the video because he made an insanely good video featuring each singer singing and stuff. And then at the end, when the choir kicks in, there's like this massive wall of people singing. And it's so beautiful. He did this video editing magic, made it work. And the final result is what you guys saw. It would not have been possible without Husky's instrumental, without Denmo's idea and Denmo's video editing, which saved me so many hours of work. I have no idea how he did it. I think he spent probably few weeks just working on that project every day, all day. And I'm so grateful for him for doing that. And then obviously your contributions, guys, because like that final chorus hit super hard. It was super beautiful. And then we published it. And that's the story. So this is how I managed to orchestrate all these people. Like the hardest part was not even like the singers, the main 11 ones, but it was like the thousands of submissions and my desire of putting everybody in it, because I know everyone who submitted their audio, their videos to this project, they really did so much effort. For many of you, it was the first time that you guys sang on something like this. And I wanted to give people a chance to see themselves singing with Susan Calloway, with Amanda Aiken, with Jeannick Nicole, with Adriana Figueroa, and all these heroes of theirs and of mine, you know, because I thought that's the ultimate confidence boost. If you see yourself in such a big project, then you start thinking, maybe I should sing more, you know, maybe I should make music. Like the evil plan behind all of my content is always to give people the courage to embrace their passion, embrace their artistic sides, and just run with it, because there's so much uncertainty and so much lack of self-esteem that most of us have when it comes to this stuff. Like, oh, I don't sing well, I don't know. But what I saw in the submissions you guys sent me is like a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of fun. Some of you were wearing cosplay. Like it was all over the top, and it was very moving to see the community. And I felt responsible for creating something that would make everybody feel great about themselves and great about the game, and then especially would make Soken feel appreciated, because it's one thing to read comments from the fans on Twitter and on YouTube, but it's another thing to see your fans come together in such a beautiful project to thank you for what you did. So, especially given what he's been through lately, I thought that was very important. So this project is, you know, it's, from my side, it's a gift to the community, to the developers, to Soken, and to people who love video game music anyway. So that's the short story of how this came about. Question 2. When you launch your call for the community contribution to the choir, how many submissions do you think you got? Oh, I just replied this. Okay, that's great. And then the third question is, the final one is, you said on many occasions that the money generated on YouTube for this project will go to charities. Could you share with us which charities you picked and the feedback you had from them? So I picked the American Cancer Society and the Japanese Cancer Society as well. Those are the main two that I picked, because obviously symbolically I saw the fact like this song was written from Soken, and he wrote it while, you know, dealing with cancer himself. And I thought it would be very symbolic if we could take the proceeds from this project and donate them to the research, you know, for cancer prevention. So I did that. There's also a charity called Charity Water, which donates, like you can donate to them, and they basically give water to people in third world countries who really need it. And so I donated there as well. So yeah, the American Cancer Prevention Society, the Japanese Cancer Research Society, and the Charity Water charity. I haven't heard from them like specifically, because this wasn't such a huge project that earned like millions of dollars. It's just a small community project. So it's nothing compared to what people like Markiplier do, or, you know, those huge YouTubers that end up donating millions. That level of like engagement and earning or whatever is not something we arrived at here, but we did contribute and donate quite a fair amount of money thanks to this video and thanks to your contributions. So that made me feel very proud. And that is the story of that collaboration, of the close in the distance. It's a one-time thing. I don't know when I'll do something like this again, because I don't have much free time these days. I'm working on video game soundtracks myself, many of them. But it was a blast. I'm glad we did it. And it was a beautiful culmination of all the Final Fantasy XIV content I made, because thanks to the videos I make on YouTube, etc., and remixes, etc., the Final Fantasy XIV community has gotten to know me. So when I put out the, you know, when I ask people to submit their themselves talking, like singing, etc., there was a lot of chatter on the internet about this. Loads of articles has been written like, oh, Alex Moukala is gathering musicians for his closing distance. So I was like, wow, the internet responded to my request. It's like when LED goes like, champions of the rift, heed my call, and all the warriors of light like just show up. It was literally the same feeling, same vibe. So that was very beautiful, and it was a very, full circle moment for me and for the community. So I appreciate you guys who took part in it. I appreciate every single person who's been listening to that track over and over, because that monetization then went to the charities that I mentioned. And that's the story of how I did this, or rather how we all together did this and why it took so long. It just took me 15 minutes to explain you how it worked. It took several months of work, almost a year to make it. So that's it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the stream. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.